Hi everyone, this is Talia and James from Discover America, and we're here at the NFL House in London at the Landmark Hotel. We're your official travel guide for the USA. And we've come all the way over here for the International Series game, in which Jacksonville Jaguars are hosting the San Francisco 49ers at Wembley Stadium.
To get ready for the game, we're hanging out with former Jacksonville Jaguar Fred Taylor, one of the greatest running backs in NFL history. Fred Taylor played from 1998 to 2010 and ranks 15th all-time in rushing yards. Welcome, Fred. We're happy to have you here today.
My pleasure, Ben. My pleasure.
How's London been for you so far?
London's been great. Weather's holding up. Last time around, I came, it was raining a little bit. And the locals said I shouldn't use that word. That just might jinx it, but it's amazing right now.
So you brought a little sunshine with you from Florida?
A little bit. Hopefully I bring a little bit more because we desperately need a win.
So at Discover America, we love sharing all the great things that the USA has to cover, like culture and travel experiences, and one of our greatest sports of all time, NFL's American football. So what can you say about bringing our travel experience and this amazing American sport to the from the USA to the UK?
Well, the one thing I know the NFL brings is integrity, a lot of excitement, and a lot of passion. We're very passionate about our sport, and from what I've learned in my few visits here, is that the locals are passionate. They demand the sport, and I think we can deliver with whatever they desire.
Great. We're really excited for the game this Sunday. We're not the only ones that were excited about you being here. Our fans at Discover America have asked us tons of questions, so we selected a few because otherwise we'd be here all day. So to start out, some of the Europeans are new to football, so can you just tell us what exactly was your role as a running back?
Well, running back, with the exception of being the bullseye, the main target, my job is to carry the ball. That's one of my assignments, and score touchdowns. I have to score a lot of points, try and get the tough yards for my team and protect the quarterback. Usually the good sign of a running back is if you can carry the ball, which is a must. Being able to catch the ball and receive the ball and protect the quarterback. If you can't protect the quarterback, then you won't play.
Sounds like a big job.
It's a huge task, but I love it.
Well, our second question comes from Ian Pointer in the UK. What was your most memorable game and why?
My most memorable game? My rookie year against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa had a great defense. And one of my good friends, they might see him on the NFL Network, Warren Sapp. Yeah, I met Warren prior to my rookie year, and he said that, well, I told him I'm going to have 100 yards on their defense. And he said, young man, you better be careful what you wish for. And that game, the very first play of the game, he tackled me for a 4-yard loss. The very next play, it was a 4-yard loss, and he said, I told you to be careful what you asked for.
Sounds like Warren.
Yeah, that sounds definitely like Warren. But they were up maybe 4 points going into the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, and Coach called a running play to me. And 71 yards later, it was a touchdown, the winning score for the game. I finished with 130-plus yards, so I had the last laugh, which is still my favorite game. I get to tease him every time I see him.
And that was a great defense back then.
Very good defense. That was Warren Simeon, right?
Exactly.
Great defense.
So I'm sure that you watched football as a child, and a lot of people want to know, which player did you look up to as a kid? Or players?
Legend. One of the best running backs ever, Walter Payton, Chicago Bears. I think it was around 1985. The Bears won the Super Bowl 84-85. And he just caught my eye. He ran with so much power, and he was so smooth and intense at the same time. And he never quit. He had that drive and that determination, and just would go out in the yard and kind of pretend to be Walter, even though I sucked as a kid at football. I never gave up.
We don't believe you.
It's true. You can ask any of my childhood friends. I was the kid that sat on the sideline. I kind of cried when they took the ball away from me or whatever, or they would take the ball away. But yeah, I worked out and stuff with it, and I'm here today. Had a pretty decent career.
That's amazing. And did you have a favorite team as a child too, or?
Florida boy, so the Miami Dolphins were my favorite team, and I think it was more so the team song that they would always sing, and we went like Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1, something like that. Crazy.
So you're starting a career as a singer too?
No way, no way. But they were my favorite team, and my son, he came home a couple weeks, about a year ago, singing that song from his school. I said, son, you got to get out of the house if you're going to sing that song. So they're not my favorite team, Jaguars.
And you started college, or?
He's my little kid.
Oh, little kid.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they were teaching him that.
Oh, and
it was like 4K or something. So he came home singing. I was like, you better be careful.
Yeah, teach the Jaguars song. Yeah. Okay. Well, our next question comes from Alice in Canada. If you could do it all again, which game in your career would you replay and why?
That's easy. These are easy questions, thank God.
We're just getting started.
Yes, that's fine. 1999, our third try against the Tennessee Titans. It's actually the AFC Championship game, and we were leading 10-6 at halftime. The AFC Championship game, by the way, is the game before the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We were leading 10-6 by halftime, which means it was only 30 minutes remaining to play, and it would have been our first Super Bowl appearance as a franchise. Unfortunately for us, the Titans beat us again, which made it 3 times in one season, which is very rare in the NFL. And only if I could replay that 30 minutes, and we would actually be the team that ended up victorious, because I've seen it, so I would know what to do.
Yeah.
So that's the game that I kind of still have nightmares about.
That sounds pretty horrifying.
It still haunts me.
Oh.
It still haunts me. That was the closest we had ever gotten. We've never sniffed, anything close to it again. So
Maybe
that's how tough the NFL is.
Maybe on Sunday?
Well, just getting a win on Sunday would be a start.
Yeah, started with the first
but I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say we're going to win.
So our next question is from Robin in Germany. So your career has brought you all over the United States, and you've probably seen almost every town and football stadium we have. So what would you say is your favorite place to go and your football stadium, but you can't pick Jacksonville?
They already figured out I'm a little biased. Let's see, there's tons of stadiums. You can't forget maybe New York. Maybe New York. Just the fans. Actually, Philly was good. It's tons of them. I'm going to say 2 maybe. Okay. Philly Stadium. Those fans they're just crazy insane. And the food is pretty good. A lot of good sites and monuments to go and visit. And in New York, a lot of shopping. We're not supposed to be shopping before the games, but you have to kind of take your mind away from it for a little bit. So 2 hours out the streets of New York is always good. But the facilities, especially their new stadium, it's just an amazing venue. Huge. The turf is amazing. It's a lot faster, so I get an opportunity to display a little bit more quickness and speed whenever I have a chance to play there. So Philly and New York.
Philly's actually a great stadium. I play in college ball at a financial center. It's a great stadium.
After they've changed that turf.
Yeah. Great.
Our next question comes from Edward from Canada. What do you believe allowed you to stay healthy and fit throughout your whole career?
I had my share of injuries, like most players, but you have to, because it's a business, number one, and you are a business, you have to treat yourself as such. So you have to invest in yourself, meaning massages, chiropractor, moderate. I'm getting into yoga. Throughout my career, I did just a little bit yoga, but really eating the right things. Because if you're eating the healthy foods, it promotes a quick recovery, the right vegetables, fruits. So really, just extra maintenance, making sure you take care of the small injuries first. For example, if your toe hurt, after a game, we're all tough guys or pretend to be tough guys, and you're going to overlook that toe. But if you continuously pound on it, that toe is you're going to start to compensate and alter the way you walk and move, and that toe is going to become a strained calf, which might possibly become a strained hamstring and a tight back, and now other injuries start to form and develop. So You have to, one, just maintenance. Go in the training room each and every day. Cold tub, which is about 30 degrees. Yeah, just get with a trainer and take care of yourself. Pay close attention to your hips, because your hips will usually be the first thing to come out because of all the cutting and twisting and turning. But in my career, I just had to make sure I stayed on top of all the little things first.
Sounds like I need to change my lifestyle a little bit.
I need to go back to doing that.
So one of the most exciting parts about seeing a game in the USA is all the tailgating and fun things that happen at the game. What are some of your favorite experiences at the game, and what would you tell first-time visitors to the U.S. to see at a game?
You know, as when I'm a spectator, when I'm usually in spectator mode, the tailgate is an absolute must. You get out there with all of the crazies and the fanatics and some weirdos, but it's all sport. It all makes it fun.
Do you have a favorite tailgate food, or
favorite? Listen, I'm easy. I'm chicken, which is really simple. Some barbecue or whatever. But no, you have to enjoy the tailgate. You have to experience the tailgate. While I played, it was just the thrill of scoring, and just to hear the fans erupt and making a big play, see how much the fans really take joy in it, you know. So those were the favorite things about playing back home.
Next up, a question comes from Otto Romero in Canada. With the many great quarterbacks in the NFL today, who would you prefer, Flacco, Romo, or Brady?
That's easy as well. Tom Brady. He's a teammate for 2 years, and to have an opportunity to be a teammate and see how he operates behind the scenes. It wasn't always that way, because he was the one that kept us from winning in the playoffs or even getting close to the Super Bowl, being in the AFC division. But Tom, he's a good person. You know, he's very humble in the midst of all the things that he's earned. You know, it's easy to lose your humility, you know, in our business. So having had an opportunity to be a teammate for 2 years, he works hard. So everything he's earned, all the accolades he's earned them through hard work. And he has this great sense of urgency, which at quarterback, I believe you need that. He has a great sense of leadership and passion, and he gets everyone else involved. So it's easy to see why he goes out there and destroys defenses, and why his team is always victorious, because he prepares for it every single day.
That becomes that when he goes down to the field.
Makes it look easy, right?
Exactly. Well, if you were to start a team today, which 3 players in the NFL currently would you start that team with?
Oh, man. Let's see.
We're getting tougher now.
What 3 players? Well, you need a quarterback. So right now, I would say Peyton Manning, even though he's down but Peyton is so smart and he's brilliant out there. Adrian Peterson. I would need a running back who's as tough and explosive as Adrian, and Calvin Johnson. See, I want to score points.
Yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring team with those 3, right?
We might not stop many people, but we're going to outscore you. Yeah. So those 3 players.
3 great choices.
Yes.
Great. Maybe you'll let us be on our team for one day. Okay. So this question is from Max in Germany. So if we came, all the way from Germany to Florida, what experiences would you take us to, and what would you hope to show us about your home state?
Most like every other tourist, you got to go and visit Mickey Mouse, I guess. Go down to Orlando. I would try and introduce you to Jacksonville. Jacksonville has some hidden gems. You know, the beach is pretty nice, laid back. The river is nice down there. I would take them down to Miami a little bit if they're into some party, if they want to get in the party mode a little bit. But Florida in itself is just beautiful. If you get some good weather, visit the beaches and just kind of relax, get a nice tan. So yeah, I'm simple. I'm usually in the house, but those are the things I would do.
Great.
Our next question comes from Jamie Garwood here in the UK. What was the best thing about playing running back in the NFL, and what was the worst thing?
The best thing about playing running back in the NFL was scoring touchdowns and blocking. You know, if you had an opportunity to get a linebacker that was blitzing, and if you can really get a good shot on him, which allows the quarterback time to complete a deep pass, and that pass ended up in a score, that was amazing feeling. You know, or just ripping off an 80, 90-yard run was also a great feeling. So those were the good sides of being a running back. The bad side was any given moment you're carrying the ball. You had all 11 defenders' job is to chase you, tackle you, and get you down. So at any point in time, there could be 2 guys, 3 guys, 6 guys on top of you, 1,000 pounds, 1,500 pounds or more. The very next day, with the soreness, the coaches overlooked that. You have to, go in, make your corrections, and get out to practice for the next opponent. So there wasn't a whole lot of turnover. So you had to do the small things like we mentioned earlier, which was the maintenance work and pay attention to detail. Any small soreness or injury, get the ice treatment, get your massages, your chiropractic, so you can be ready for the next game. It's only really 6 days in between. So the toughest part was recovering from the soreness. But that second day within the 48-hour window, usually Tuesday was a lot. That day was the day you really felt it out, which was our off day, right? But the recovery was the toughest.
So we wanted to ask you, so many of us wonder kind of what you do outside of the off season. Can you talk about what a year in the life of a football player is like, and what happens in the off season and prep, and how that happens?
The off season is the most important time for a football player, quite naturally. Not a lot of people would think so, but usually you can tell the players that are more successful, they invest more in themselves in the off season. This is when you're building your foundation. Usually some guys would take 2 months off and not really train a whole lot until you have to report back to the team. And myself personally, I would, once I got older, became an older player, I had to start thinking or be a little smarter. I would start training a week after the season, just get back into it. I would try and vacation some, but my training was much more important. But you have to sprinkle in some vacation to keep your sanity. It's not a whole lot. It's not much different than being, someone else. You just take your job seriously, and just make sure it's priority. Make sure you put your family in there, your support system. You want to take care of them because they have to go through a lot throughout the season too, as well. Because throughout the season, they know how much on edge you can be, and they have to deal with, the losses, and those aren't always easy to deal with. So you want to make sure you're taking care of them as well in the off season.
Do you have any favorite vacation hotspots in the U.S. when you're trying to unwind and de-stress?
Vacation hotspots in the U.S. My wife and I, we like to try and go skiing a little bit. Although I can't ski, she's a skier. Okay. But usually we like to go just outside the U.S. and go over to Bahamas, the Caribbean somewhere, and kind of just relax, taking all of the sun. Back in the States, California is always good. Napa Valley, where you can relax, drink some wine, and just visit the spas, all that different stuff.
I'm from San Francisco, so of course.
Well,
I know. I appreciate the shout out.
Well, thank you, Fred. We really appreciate your time today. This has been really great. I'm sure the fans out there appreciate you coming out here and answering some of their questions.
Great questions, by the way. Very good questions.
We have one last question that we wanted you to kind of leave us with a little inspiration. Do you have any advice for any aspiring NFL players out there?
I should say one thing I would always say is never confuse routine with commitment. You want to develop a routine, but when you're lazy and you're tired, the commitment has to kick in to reinforce what you believe in, your passion. So that's one thing. And just stick to it. You know, just stick to it. Work hard. Be patient, because you're going to go through some trials and tribulations. But you know, stay strong in faith. Always pray for what you want and what you believe in, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Great. You've given us some really amazing things to think about. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us and sending over your questions. Stay tuned for more NFL updates on Discover America.
We hope to see you in the USA for a football game soon.
Thank you.